I'm not judging. We're not here to judge. We're just here to give truth. And that's what I'm about. Girls are being caught up. We're being caught up in the trap of married people. We are being driven or dragged into the world of the married. This man's soul is tied to that of a woman. Marriage is very spiritual. I just hope you know that. This is the Unspoken Podcast, and I am your host, Chris Lay. Every week, I will bring you a hot, juicy, life-changing topic. So join me every Friday at 8 p.m. Links in your DMs. Make sure to follow me on Anchor, Google Podcasts, and Radio Republic. That is where you have access to the podcast. But hey, if you cannot access it on the app, make sure to go through it on the website. That is if you cannot access it on the app. Well, I will be waiting for your responses in the comments. Yes, links in your DMs, and do follow. So right now, let's go right into the episode.
You know, the thing is, married men can make you fall in love. Married men can make you fall in love. I'm in love with him, but sometimes the way he behaves, he'll go mute. He'll just be quiet. He'll just cut my calls. He'll be like, I need something very urgent around, let's say around 02 or I don't know. And that's my only go-to person. I have to wait till 9 because he won't be home by then. After that, he'll even, the surprising part is he'll be like, no, my wife this, my wife this, my wife that, my wife this, my wife that. Shan will call you, he'll be complaining, no, my wife, she doesn't even call me, my wife doesn't even love me that much, my wife this, my wife that. He'll just be saying negative things about the wife. But why does he give a fuck when I call? He's supposed to actually make me the person now, the main topic, the main subject, because me, I'm always there to give attention. I'm always there to shower him with love and everything. So it's not a good thing. Trust me, it's not a good thing, but we're still pushing, we're still moving. What can I do? Anyways, the only thing I'm just proud of doing is I'm securing the bag. So yeah, that's the thing.
Yo, these things are happening. These things are happening. Are you shocked? Well, don't be shocked. Why are you shocked? These things are real, okay? These things are real as day. Yes, there is such a thing. And I genuinely wanted to make the world of the married. Why? Because this is the center of what's happening today. This is the center of life today. Girls are being caught up. We are being caught up in the trap of married people. We are being driven or dragged into the world of the married. And now the question goes in to say, why are the married dragging us, the unmarried, into their world? Because they made their choice. They made their decision. So why are we being dragged, right? We can look at it in that sense, or we can also look at it on the flip side as to why are the unmarried, why are you unmarried girls dragging yourself into the world of the married? Why not say no to these guys? And I've had conversations with girls who will be like, moral standing. Girls who go out or fall in love with married men don't have a moral standing. They're wrong morally. They have bad morals. They don't care about their lives. They're moralless. They bad manners. You know what I mean? But then again, we have to always, in such discussions, we have to be sensitive enough to look at things from both sides. And that is why this theme of July, we are going to be talking about these topics. I'm going to break them down in mini topics because we need to understand things from a point of view. So if you're concerned about sources, I mainly get my sources, especially for this source, I get my sources from Jordan Peterson. This guy has the best knowledge or wisdom to offer. I'm currently reading a book. I don't want to disclose it because I want to disclose it in an episode that will be coming very soon. We're going to talk about it when we're talking about the next episode that we're going to be doing, of course, yes. But in this episode, we are on a totally different side of things, all right? We are in the world of the married, yes. However, we're talking about I fell in love with a married man. And for me, it is a girl code rule number 1. I'm not going to say it yet. But before we get into that, I just want to talk about, I want to say what really made me talk about this, like pushed me now to the edge. I watched a very interesting, okay, I'm an Asian chick, okay? I'm that chick who loves Korean dramas. I'm that chick who loves anime, Japanese, anything to do with yaoi, anything to do with Japan, anything to do with China, anything to do, guys, I'm that Asian chick. I'm that chick. So I watch a lot of Korean dramas, and I watched this series called The World of the Married. Guys, this top-notch, recommend. It is exactly what is happening today. And when I watched this series, it made me question a lot of things. If I'm going to look at things on the side of a side chick, I have to be as fair enough to see things from her view, especially if she's fallen in love with him. And then I also have to now put myself into the married woman's shoes and see things from her point of view. And I'm like, but that's not fair too. And then when I'm watching as well, I see things from the side chick's view, and I'm like, but anyway, that as well is not fair. So now I'm looking, I'm like, but then who is to blame? And so that is going to be another topic again. So I hope you're taking notes, because this is going to be, we are in it for the long haul, guys. Let's admit that these things are real and they are happening. Let's stop pretending at the they are happening every other day. And I feel like this affected me so bad is because everywhere I go, even roads, Muma streets, I am approached. And 3/4 of the men that approach me in my life from the time I was young, I remember being young, being approached, are married men, older men. I've always questioned this. That is it that not got to take a blood car for married men or one. Do you understand what I mean? So after university, I think during my whole time of university is when I got to learn and understand certain things as to why probably these men approach me. You understand why they act in that way. To some extent, for me, men are totally not entirely to blame for the way they behave. But hey, that's not what we're talking about today. So these are I'm just giving like a brief breakdown of how our topics are going to be going. We're going to be going bit by bit, and I'm going to run you through exactly how I see these things to be. However, today we're talking about I fell in love with a married man. Girl code rule number 1, girl. But before I go to the girl code rule number 1, let's listen as well to another experience for one amazing woman. And yeah, let's listen to another experience and see what she has to say.
So there was this married man that I used to date way back when I was in Kalulushi, yeah? So I met this man on Facebook. He had the rank kumachani, right? So this man, when I met him on Facebook, he invited me to go out. And then the first meeting, we went by this one, Edgar Chagamo, right? And went by Garden Court. And look, the first day already, he's already showing me to say he's got money. And I was like, okay, I like this. My plan wasn't to destroy his home or anything. My plan was, I didn't even have a plan. I just went there for the fun, the money. I was young and I loved the adventure. So we go there, like the food is expensive. Everything about him was just expensive. Everything was just flashy. His car was flashy. This man gave me this picture of, it gave me this fairy tale that I believed that, it would come true. You know what I mean? And I was happy dating a married man because I didn't have to stress about, where is he sleeping? Who is he sleeping with? Or I was like his main side chick, I dated this man close to, should be, I think 3 years. 3 years, yeah? And trust me, for the past 2 years, his wife didn't know anything about me. I respected his home. I never one thing I like, every time he bring his issues, like his home issues that like to me, to talk to me about it, I would refuse. I would tell him to say, sort out your issues at home. If you have any problems, you can talk to me about other things, not your wife problems. Because by the end of the day, whatever advice I'm going to give you right now, it's either I'm destroying your home or I'm mending your home. And I don't want to be either. I don't want to break your home. I don't want to make it as well. I don't want to be part of anything related to your house. I don't want to be part of it. And he loved me for that. He really loved me for the idea, for the fact that I respected his home. Every time his wife would call, this man respected me so bad, because every time his wife would call, he wouldn't pick up. He would just press the home button, or tweet his phone, turn it upside down. That's how much he used to respect me. But then I'll tell him to say, "You look, that's your wife, and we're supposed to respect her. So if you want to talk to her, you can easily just go outside the car, or just far from me. You pick up, you talk to her, and then you come back. That's fair enough." Chrisley, when I tell you to say I had all the fun in the world, this is the man I'm talking about. This man put me on an allowance. So imagine if I was dating a single man. Obviously, I have to deal with crying, him cheating on me, finding random messages. On top of that, if I ask for money, it's going to take maybe, I don't know how many days for him to send me the money. And I was like, you know what? This, as much as this looks like it's a sin, not as much as this is a sin, as much as this is this is a forbidden thing, but this man makes me happy. My nails were always done. My hair was always done. I had different type of, not fake hair, no. I had original hair, not even what. My life was comfortable. There was a time my mom was she was not really, she had issues with her business thing. Her business wasn't going well and stuff. He sent her 10,000 to start a business. So when you think about all those, I would weigh myself. I'd ask myself to say, if I tried dating a single man, what am I benefiting from there? Apart from my heartbreaks, free sex. On top of that, free sex, they still cheat on me. I was like, no. So my allowance was he used to give me money per mid-month he used to give me 1,800 every month. And then he used to, every month, and when he gets paid, he used to give me 4,000. If it's not a 4,000, he give me 3,000. That's how much he used to give me all the time, every month. Funny thing is, I was very childish, because if I was this me now, trust me, I'd have built a lot of things. I used to enjoy his money. We used to go to, what place can you tell me that I never used to go to? What place? I used to go to any place that I felt like going to. This man reached to a point of, but the only thing I hated about him is he didn't want me to be his side chick. I knew I was his main chick, because look, his business deals, he used to be a car dealer as well, Kumbali. I would organize, people wanted to buy cars, you know what I mean, and then he would give me a quarter of whatever, any small amount, just like that. His business deals, I used to know about them. I used to know all his my card, my pins, all the pins. I used to know them. Everything, I used to know them. That's how much we were close. The only thing I hated about him is he wanted to take our relationship to the next level. And if I tell you, he was the most understanding human being. He was the most understanding human being on this earth. The most understanding human being on this earth. Anytime I had issues, this thing was so serious. It reached to a point where I started falling in love. Because look, he's paying my bills. I'm financially stable. I'm mentally stable. I'm physically stable. What more do I want? From these young boys? That's why until now, because I used to date older men. It's really hard for me to date somebody who's young, because I feel like they're very childish. Mental wise, I feel like they're just going to mess with my mentality, with my sanity. So I would rather. It's bad, yes, but I would rather go for a married man, because I feel like older man, not married man, but an older man is way better than a young man. The only problem that we used to have is he wanted to marry me. He wanted me to be second wife. He wanted to marry me outside his marriage. At first, he wanted to marry me where he divorced his wife, and I told him to say, no, you can't do that. He was like, no, talk to your mom about it and stuff. And then I didn't tell my mother to say this man is married, right? So he told me to say, no, tell your mother to say we're coming home, we're going to reach. And like me, I was comfortable. So I was very naive. I was like, okay, no, it's fine. Let me just tell her, because if I don't tell her, this man will stop giving me allowance, and then he'll cut me off. He'll be like, no, I just want to be eating his money. So me, I told my mom to say, these people are coming. They want to come home. My mom was like, it's fine. It's fine. And as I'm telling you, then how old was I? I think I was 20. I was 20 years. When I told him about school, he told me to say, no, he's going to take me to school when he pays something at home. That's when he's going to take me to school. So then I thought about it. I was like, this man is way older than me. I haven't even enjoyed my 20s. Then why should I get married by Meniapa? So I just lied to him to say, I've already told them there, so I'll tell you when the date is set for you people to go there. My month. That's how we know. That's when he said, no, since you don't want to marry me, but then you go there, I pay. I rent an apartment for you, Kumbali, on the side. Then you be legally married to me. Then you can go to that school that you want. I'm like, I even started considering to say, this man makes me happy, so it's fine. Seriously, this one time, my last day, that's when his wife called me. She texted me, she's like, do you know that his kids are struggling? They're not seeing their dad because you're always with him. I'm like, when am I always with him? Because this man, every time, only when we're going on trips, that's when he can sleep out. That's when he sleeps out. Otherwise, I let him go home. To carry the story short, I just felt like, so I had to let it go. I broke up with this man, but I'm very grateful to this man because my life I was financially stable. I was very comfortable. And I was very happy. So I would rather go for older man, not married man, but older man. That's why it's because of dating this, because of these older men that I've dated, these married men that I've dated, that's really hard for me to date like a youngster.
Yo, that was very interesting. That was very interesting. A whole 8 minutes. So yes, this is something very interesting. If we can see, we've seen how her story runs through, and we've heard what she had to say, and also we've seen that these things are real and happening. But I'm going to go to my girl code. But before I go to my girl code, if we were listening to the first girl who said she's securing the bag, I think let's go to number 1, securing the bag. All right. So this, if we listen to the first lady, okay, the one that was at the introduction, if you've not heard it, go back and listen to what she says. She talks about how she wants to secure the bag and how this guy is a good guy and how he's married and she's just in love with him and she's fallen in love with him. However, she is very much affected by the fact that he always comes and complains, right? He always complains to her and whatever, but at the end of the day, he's going back to his wife. I'm going to explain that in a major sector. As well, we've heard what the second lady had to say and her other experience, and she's talking about how she felt deep. However, she's learned now that was bad, right? So I'm not judging. We're not here to judge. We're just here to give truth. And that's what I'm about. I love to give truth to people because I would rather tell you the truth than lie to you or not tell you at all and then regret later. So exactly. Girl code rule number 1. Girl, why are you even falling in love with a married man in the first place? Mama. Why are you falling in love with a married man? Girl code number 1, rule number 1, do not fall in love with a married man. What are you people telling your friends? Are you even telling your friends the truth? Do you have a friend who's fallen in love with a married man and ulem tamba fiom nobe, falling in a ditch? There's a ditch there and you're watching your friend fall in a ditch. As for me and my household, I remember my friend in college, in university, okay, she genuinely fell in love with a married man. This married man was genuine as well. And I'm pretty sure she'll listen to this episode and she'll know that she's the one I'm talking about. She was supposed to send in her audio, but I think she forgot. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to have her in the next one, in the next episode. I remember clearly, I think this was in second year or third year, if I'm not mistaken. And I said, girl, the least I would want from you is not to fall in love with this man. Respect the fact that he has a wife. If you want his love, if you want his whatever, that's up to you. But at least have the decency to respect his wife. Period. Like, why are you falling in love with a married man? Why are you watching your friend fall in love with a married man? That is girl code. Rule number 1. Do not fall in love with a married man. If he is divorced, that's your choice. Do what you want. If you want to date him, date him. If you want to marry, marry him. We hope he marries you. However, being entangled or dragging yourself, the truth is, sis, being entangled or dragging yourself in the world of the married is a dead end. And I will suggest that you watch The World of the Married so that you see. I love what the director does in that movie. In that series. Because if you watch the series, you will see that this side chick actually manages. She managed. She was the side chick, I think, for years and years. Even all her friends, the married lady, all her friends knew that her husband was cheating. That's why it's very important. Who do you have in your circles, yeah? All her friends knew that she was cheating, knew that the husband was cheating, but they kept it a secret. And I'm pretty sure I don't even blame also the friends for not telling her, because these matters are matters of the heart. And it's very important that you're sensitive as well before you disclose to somebody that, oh, your husband is cheating. You just can't walk up to somebody and tell them that. Of course not, even if you've got proof. At least I think sometimes people just want the person to find out for themselves, right? And I think probably that was the reasoning for the friends. But even if Nakumari is what they were going in Pamo, like they would do these couple getaways, and then the wife was always busy, so he would always go on the trips with the friends, with his side chick. Okay, and these friends were also friends to his wife, and they would always go. You find 3 days, 4 days. You understand what I'm saying? So, such a cycle, and you will see that this side chick in that series, the side chick actually manages to get the husband. And this husband had a tendency of, when he buys his wife a gift, he buys the same gift to his girlfriend. And so when the wife discovered that he was cheating, she didn't do anything about it. I like how she handled it. She was very mature about it. But the messed up thing, this husband, okay, he was very delusional actually. I don't even want to go into it because it will be the whole episode will be me explaining to you this series. I don't want to go into those details. However, the guy was he married his side chick. What I'm trying to show you here is that the side chick managed to marry the married man. And this is what happened. The married man was so obsessed with his wife, his ex-wife, by the way, because they divorced. And he was so obsessed with his ex-wife to a point that he started to get his attention by sending people to go to her house to steal things, to attack, so that he will go and be the hero in her life. That's how delusional he was. So that Gababe Taba police, like, oh no, because also they had a child. It was messed up. So his child as well was the excuse to see his ex-wife, because he was so obsessed and still in love with his ex-wife. So now the question, and also the bad part was that in his marriage, the wife was the breadwinner. These are matters that I still want to talk about, honestly. I'm going to talk about these things in my next month. We are talking the theme family. However, this month we're talking about just the world of the married, and we're talking about these issues. So for me, this chick, the side chick who married her married boyfriend, okay, they're now married, she's now pregnant, they have a daughter, she's regretting marrying him, because at the end of the day, if he was able to cheat on his wife while he was married to her, cheat on you, cheat on his wife with you, who are you when he marries you for him not to cheat on you with another woman. I don't know. I think it's complex. Falling in love with a married man is a waste of sheer time and energy. And so if you are in love with a married man right now and you are listening to this, I'm really glad you've stumbled upon this episode, because I'm here to tell you that you are wasting your time, you are wasting your heart, your precious emotions and energy that could be going somewhere else. It's even worse if you're having sex with this man, because at the end of the day, I don't know if your plan is to get married for this man. Let's not beat around the bush. Married men have money. Married men of nowadays have money. Some are broke. Obviously, they are not the people I'm talking about when I say married men in this episode. No. Because if you are a married man and you are going to cheat, definitely, you must have money. Yes? I believe, I believe. So I think, if you are in... Anyway, we're going to listen to another story of a girl who also fell in love with a married man. Let's hear what she had to say.
Hi, have I ever fallen in love with a married man? Well, yeah. What's my experience? Well, it in a nutshell, it's just trauma all over. To begin with, it's something where I thought, I'm too gangster, I can't fall in love with a married man. I got entangled with a married man. For a simple reason. I had gone through a breakup, a nasty one, and he was more of a rebound. I thought he would be more of a rebound, but then I fell in deep. Though I could see that he was married, he would hide, but in my instincts just told me to say, no, this man is married. And then he was very good. You know how married men are, charming you, giving you what you want, and your peers knowing what you need in your peers, giving you the money that you want, and but for him it wasn't just money that he would give me that was top notch. I just don't know, I felt a different love with him. He was somebody I would talk to with ease. We would laugh. I could relate to him because, okay, he was younger. He was young. He was like in his 30s when I met him, like in his early 30s when I met him, and we like started at a point where it moved so fast, I felt, and when I put one and one together, it gave me two, and I knew that he was married, and I was selfish. I was supposed to initially break it off, knowing that he hid such important information from me, but no, I was selfish. I wanted the attention I was getting, the love I was getting, the money, affection. It was really deep. I mean, this man and I have gone places. there's this version of love that he made me go through that people that I've dated have never shown me. It's not just about the money. This man would know when I'm not okay mentally, and he would just take me out on a long drive to clear my mind, just helping me relax. He helped me grow, and yeah, eventually we fell off, and we're very good friends, by the way. Yeah, we're very, very good friends. We had a relationship that lasted longer than most of my relationships with him. 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. Yes, that was the longest relationship I've ever been in, which was with a married man. Really sick. So the experience is it's frustrating though. When you're with a married man, there are times that you cannot call him. This one is just didn't listen, yeah. He would text me at awkward hours. He would call me at awkward hours. In my mind, I got used, I never used to call him or text him after like 19, and I wouldn't text him like before 9. But he would do that, so yeah. It was a thrill, like a rush in your blood, and because I saw the wife. She's really beautiful. She's yeah. Anyway, married men will be very much interested where the sex is fire, and yeah.
Wow. So, do you hear or see the point that I'm saying from these stories and these experiences? And I do hope you're listening to it not to argue a point, but I hope that you're listening to this with clarity and understanding and relation, so that you can learn from people's mistakes. You get, I fell in love with the married man. Someone is saying her story and making an effort to tell you, just in case you are in that situation, that this is what happened. And for me, my heart is really on you, because if you're going to be sexually active with a married man, do you know how detrimental that is to your soul and your spirit, man? That is so detrimental in that, first of all, this man's soul is tied to that of a woman. Marriage is very spiritual. I just hope you know that. Even as you are dating or falling in love, quote unquote, with these men you are calling your boyfriends that you love, marriage is spiritual. Call it whatever you want, but one thing that I'm going to say is marriage is spiritual. All right? And so, when you choose to tie your soul to a man whose soul is tied to that of another woman, and you have to understand that it's spiritual in that when marrying, these guys make vows. So there is that vow that is made, and it's a vow that ties these guys, it binds them together. Do you understand what you are putting yourself into? Maybe you don't know that probably that's why certain things in your life are not going right. I don't know, I'm beginning to sound like a preacher, but I'm not. The problem is life is spiritual in whatever sense that you want to put it in. Life is very spiritual, and I want you to understand, look at things from a different view. Probably you're a student, probably you're working, probably you're whatever it is that you are, and you've fallen in love with this man, and he's been good to you, he's been this. Trust me, I think dating married men, as we heard from the second story that we heard, where she talked about how it's better to just date a married man than these single boys. And trust me, I would agree, because With a married man, you're not worried, are you? No. You're like, bainda go na tiziba bainda kuliba wife isetiri kuna. We are not worried. Oh, where are you, Shanshan? You understand? However, these things come with a cost. And that is why you have to listen to my previous episode where I say sex is a price, guys. It comes with a cost. You are paying a price. I don't know if you understand. You are losing a part of you that will probably never even recover. Life is spiritual. Hence, when certain things are not moving in your life, don't question why things are not moving. Because you have to check, what is it that I'm not doing and what is it that I'm doing in my life? So probably if you're dating a married man, this is a man who is bound to another woman. Why not get your own? And probably you are falling into deep. Yes, that can happen. But for me, I'm not here to condemn the fact that you're falling in love with a married man. No. But what I'm telling you is, I would rather, I almost said I would rather, but I would rather, I would rather you redirect your emotions to something else. You know, if you want that married man, if he's Alexunga Wino, Nempia, keep him close. Okay? Keep him close. But what I'm saying is, your heart should definitely not be with a married man. Definitely not. You know why? Because he does not even deserve it at all. Our mommy, he doesn't. He doesn't. Girls, here's the truth. Listen, dear Parizona. Number one is that you are not his first. Number one, you are not a priority. If the wife told him to say, where are you? Come now. And he's in bed with you. My dear, trust me, whatever this man was doing, whether he was on top of you at the time, or he was under you, I don't know. But this man will get up from his bed unless he doesn't respect his wife. But if it's a man who respects his wife, trust me, whether he's on top, he's under, at his side, at his shan, he's getting up, dressing up, maybe throwing a 500 on the bed just for, babe, I'm sorry. Let me just go here, get a cab. In the end, I have to go because my wife has called. And let me tell you where you're not the first. He's not saving you as baby girl in his phone. Oh, hell no. You're probably the plumber, number one. You are probably the Minister of Justice. I don't know if you saw this Camille video. I laughed. You are probably saved as the ambassador in the phone. You are not saved as my baby. You are not saved as my boo. Definitely not. You are saved as something, or the boys. I don't know, but you're not his first. You're not his priority. Somewhere, somehow, he's hiding. Married men nowadays have 3 phones, 3, 4, 2 phones, 1 phone. That's where your SIM card is. Already, you're not in his main phone, my dear. You're not in his main phone because that man respects his wife. That he's definitely not, he's going to hide the other phone where your number is saved. So definitely when he does not reply to your message, trust me, that phone is somewhere. And his main phone is in the sitting room with him and his wife. Then when he now goes to say, let me just go to the bathroom, I'll be coming. Vaya, fast, send that phone. You understand what I'm saying? You are not the priority in his life. Here's the truth. That is number one. Number two, you shouldn't be sitting around waiting. I'm pretty sure you wait around to say, probably you look at the time. I can't text him this time. He's probably with his wife. It's 17 hours. It's 23. I'm going to wait for him to text me when he gets to work. Girl, no. Are you going to manage doing that for the rest of your life, mommy? So Zakwanyisa, the only thing you should be waiting for is, bro, what time will the money hit my account? If not today, tell me a day and time. Not love. Come on. Also, what we get the advice from is very important. You can't be with a friend who is watching you fall in love with a married man. Of course not. So, my sis, you can't sit around waiting. You can't. No, I refuse. Number 3, you're not his first priority, which I've already put at the first. And number 4, the way he talks about his wife will tell you a lot. We heard from the first girl, okay? We heard from the first story when she was saying, he's always complaining about his wife and what. That should tell you something. That should tell you something. That this man loves his wife and probably you're just that's why you're the side chick. But again, that shouldn't offend you. I don't know why side chicks are offended with being called a side chick. It's always, no, he loves me. No. The fact of the matter is you're the side chick. You're the afterthought of the matter. You're not priority. Obviously, yes, he may love you, but trust me, there is a reason why he went down on one knee to marry that woman. And number 4, you are playing with fire if kids are involved. All right. I've heard so many side chicks. I've got a couple of people in my life who, I think there was one of some girl, right? She was having a conversation. She was like, I don't like the fact that, he has to come to me and tell me that, no, he's going to be with his kid. Like, I don't even care about his children. He should be giving me the attention. No, mommy, no. If anything, if you have such an attitude, I pray that you discard of that attitude, because that is a very bad attitude and that is very wrong of you as a side chick. At the end of the day, we are at the bottom of the food chain. You understand? I think at the end of the day, a side chick has to know her place. All right? Yeah. I think these are truths that are not being told, because if you fall in love, there's this notion that, the wife is, there was this video, before I even go to that, there's this video I watched, I was so sad. This side chick, she was disrespecting his wife. She had been sleeping with this guy for a very long time, and then she was there telling the wife that, hey, you are dirty. That's why he's with me. You are dirty, you are filthy. He tells me all these things. Look at you. Look at how you're dressed. That's why he comes to me. That's why he loves me. Hey, Shani. And I'm watching the wife wanting to beat this small girl. She was actually a small girl. And then the husband is trying to stop his wife from beating the side chick. And I was so sad in that. Look, I don't judge the girl, okay? But one thing that I would have told that girl is, Iweshe, my life sometimes, be humble. Already what you're doing, you are misbehaving. Why not humble yourself, even as you do this misbehaving of yours? Why chef yako? And the tear of a wife, I just want to bring this. The tears of a wife never go in vain. A wife's tears are very, very cardinal. When a wife cries from the bottom of her heart, the tears of a wife are just like the tears of a mother. She's cried her heart and she's really praying for her husband. Oh, she's just crying at the state of her marriage. What do you think will happen to you who's on the other side? I don't know. Sometimes, be respectful enough. Do you respect yourself? Number 1, do you respect yourself? Even as you are falling in love with these men, even before you think of falling in love with a man, first of all, just ask yourself, am I respecting myself by falling in love with this man? Because also ask yourself, what am I gaining? If I fall in love with this man, what am I gaining? I know we cannot, there's this whole argument of, no, you cannot control your emotions, you can't control who you like. I know, girls, I know there's that. However, let's be realistic about these things, okay? There was someone before you. That's why I'm saying girl code rule number 1 is never, and it should be, never fall in love with a married man. If you find yourself in a situation where a married man likes you, which by the way we've all been in, but hey, if you've never come across a married man that likes you and has loved you and whatever, good for you. Because then you don't put up with the pressure that some of us have to put up on a daily basis. A daily basis. A married man daily basis. There's a married man in your inbox. There's a married man asking for your number. And I feel like it's about your level of maturity on how you handle marriage men. I think at this point where I am, I now know how to handle married men. You know? I don't completely discard married men. I sometimes chill with married men. Like, oh, you know, let's go out, have a drink, let's chat. Why? Because these are older men, and I love being in the council of older men because they have a lot to offer when it comes to wisdom. In all honesty, having conversation with older men is very nice. I enjoy it because I'll just be there learning and hearing conversation because they talk, you know, they talk a lot. They'll talk about this, they'll talk about that, and you know, you're just learning. Come on, if you they'll even be there. I'm watching. If you know, so you know, not that. And we're out. Maybe we're at a lodge or at a pub. You know, because married men don't really like being out. Some do, but there's just those exclusive married men who just don't like being around. So they'll maybe like to chill at a lodge or at a hotel and you just be at the bar. And then when it's time to go home, you go home. There's those genuine men, actually. They'll even drop you off at your place like, oh, you know, that was a good chat. Let's do it sometime next weekend. And I'm like, for me, I do that. I know, so long as your intentions are clear, your motive is clear, and we've made an agreement, I love to have conversations. Whether you're married, you're older, whatever. Hey, it's cordial. However, they actually fall in love. They actually you understand what I'm saying? Ninkani na all together. It shouldn't even be condoned. That is just what I have to say about falling in love with a married man. Rule number 1, don't fall in love with a married man, dear girl. You're hurting yourself. I think for me, you're hurting yourself because you have a life, number 1. Number 2, he has his life. He has his life that he lived. What happens if you get pregnant? What sort of a life are you bringing your unborn baby into? Think about that. You get pregnant for a married man. Think about, let's say you get an STD. You get HIV from this married man that you're sleeping with. You understand? You're just giving yourself a heartbreak. He'll be with you for a particular time. A particular small time. Do you seriously want to continue the life of a man who has to make appointments, fake appointments? Oh no, you know, he had to make a fake appointment just for him to, he had to sneak out of his house. You know, he's like, no, babe, let me just sneak out from my wife. Oh no, babe, I have to go back. You know, my wife. Are you happy with that? Those inconveniences? I know he has money. I know he loves you, right? There's this thing that I've come to understand from most of the girls that fall in love with married men. And there's one thing that I hear, that they love right. But is it the right place for you? I think that's the question that we should be asking. Is that the right place for you? Yes, other men probably know how to love right. Unlike our, you know, millennial boys or, you know, Gen Z boys. However, is that the right place for you to be in? You know what I mean? Like, is it worth you? Is it worth your heart? Are you willing to have empali? Are you willing to be the second wife? And probably he's not even going to leave his wife for you. Babe, believe me, you are just temporal. You are just temporal for the time being. You're that in case the wife just doesn't want to have sex with him. Oh, light bulb, I have Patricia to go to. Hey babe, I've booked a hotel. let's go. I've booked a flight for us to go, let's go. You understand? And for you, you're in it for the pleasure, the fun. Yes, it can be nice, especially if he's rich, if you've bagged a whole, multi-dollar guy and whatever. It can be nice, I can imagine, you know what I mean? However, is it worth your heart? So is it worth you losing a cardinal part of yourself, losing that part of you, and also just having sex with a married man? I feel, in all honesty, is not right. Because, and I know it's got nothing to do with you, I know, and I know you don't care. Probably you're listening to this and you're like, dude, I don't care so long as he gives me what's due to me, and probably you're listening, you're like, you know what, I'm not a hoe, he's the one who approached me, and so I need the money and he's willing to give me the money. I'm in it, bro. In case you listen to that and you're at that point and you're saying that, I just want to say that probably you've had sex with him so many times. You've had sex with married men, and probably that's your trend. Probably you have sex with married men, or probably you just always wound up with married men, right? I want you to think back on the time before of the time you actually started engaging with married men. How were you? How was the state? How did you see yourself before that? And I want you to now look at yourself now. How do you see yourself now? I'm going to give us some time to think about that. How do you see yourself now? Then and now. Who you were before you started this life that you're doing now, and who you are now. How do you see yourself? We're going to go on a short break. So I hope that you've given time to think about who were you before that and how do you see yourself now. And I'm going to tell you that the way you saw yourself then and the way you see yourself now is totally different. I've gone out on dates with married men. I won't lie. But I've never fallen in love with a married man. Why? Because I've wired myself as that. However, there were two men I remember very well. I think this was last year. Two married men, good-looking men. I won't lie. They don't even look married, by the way. And so I made out with one. He's half, I think he was half Brazilian and half Zambian. I don't know, but okay, for me, I was just obsessed with the hair, honestly. There's one man, he had hair. I think I have a funny fetish for hair. So he had this nice hair, and in the moment it was good. It was good. We were just talking, chatting. He even invited me over to his house here in Kitwe. His intentions were very pure, by the way. We just became friends because his mind is so amazing. We went on a few dates, would go to Serene Gardens, just chat, eat. He even drops me back home when I used to live in Riverside, right? However, and he was married, and I knew, and he would always have his ring in his house. His family is in Lusaka, but he came here for work. And that's normally how the situation is. And I'm going to tell you for a fact that we were at his house and we'd hang out pretty many times, yes? So we're at his house and we're talking, we're drinking, and he put out, drinks, and he started cooking because he loved to cook. So he was cooking. And we had this session. And by a session, I mean a makeout session. And so we're there and I'm like, wow. But that was not my reaction. In my mind, I'm like, wow. But my reaction outside was, whoa. If you know me, I have this forward personality to me. Like, yeah, I can be very forward and people call it rude sometimes. But I can be very forward. So I'm like, whoa. But I'm like, ish, this is bad. And I told him no, but we had a whole makeup, like it came so quick, and these things happen quickly. So in that moment, I had to retrace and say, retrace my steps. How did we get to this point? Because this is a person that we were just friends. We would just talk and talk and talk. And I had to retrace. And this is where I retraced, okay? And this is just some like tips, like a piece of advice. I had to retrace my steps and say, how did I get here with this guy? Number one, we spent a lot of time together. Why? I loved his personality. He was easy to talk to. And also, he always picked me up from work. I didn't have to spend on transport. And he, gave me lunch and whatever. Like, guys, he took care of me. That's what I'm saying. So I enjoyed that. We all enjoy that as ladies. We want to be taken care of. When I'm stuck, I want a man who's going to make a way for me somehow. You understand? So I loved that. I loved the babying. He would call me, check up on me and be like, oh, are you done for work? Oh, you're done for work now. I'm downstairs, So I like that. So, and this would happen like on a regular. So for me, I had to retrace at what point? Because for him to reach a point, because at Kuma beginning, I was very hostile. And I think he was so smart that he recognized and he was like, okay, this person, I have to take a lot of time. So when it was very easy for him to come to a point to actually hold me and woo into me and kiss me, and I respond as well with a kiss. Why? Because the build-up, we spent so much time together. We're talking, conversation. He would pick me up, take me for work, or pick me up from work, take me for supper. I wouldn't worry about food. He would take me for dinner, that kind of stuff. And this was happening like on a regular. And before you know it, you're falling for this guy. And also he's good looking, bro. Guy looks 30, he looks 20, but the guy's way older than that. You understand? So then I'm like, because we'd have serious conversations. Like, the guy's smart. I just loved his mind. For me, some of us, we fall in love with minds. I am a demisexual. I'm a demisexual. I fall in love with the mind. I get obsessed with someone's mind. I'm just like, oh, that's what attracts me to a person. So his mind was really attractive. And then I had to pull back. And I remember telling him, I said, I'm really sorry for my carelessness. I've been careless with myself. And also, I am sorry for allowing you to have to do this to me. And the good part is that we did not engage sexually. Because after that day, I just said, I want to go home. Because I was at this place and I realized it's even late. Let me just go home. I remember very well. I had to tell him, I said, let me just go. And from that day, I had to put some boundaries. And every time he wanted to hang out, I was just saying, nah, I'm busy, la la la. Until after I wrote him that long message, some of us, we like texting and writing. So I just wrote a whole thing and I sent to him and he understood. And the thing he told me is that I respect your decision. And he said, however, for me, I have grown fond of you. I have feelings for you. So if we can't do things, I would rather step back because I have feelings for you. And so I'm not going to be able to not want to kiss you. I'm not going to be able to not want to have sex with you. I'm not going to be able to not want to do things for you. And I'm also not going to be able to be just friends with you because this is what it is. I actually have feelings for you. And so for me, I said it's better then, before things go any further, we cut things off. So that's what it is, girl. You better move on. There was that one, and then there was another one. And this other guy as well was some foreigner. I don't even know why they normally like foreign guys. This other foreigner guys ish, like honestly, for this one, I didn't even let anything go any further because I saw where things would go. He also equally had the same mind. He was very smart, from South Africa. He had this ish. I don't want to go any further, but this guy was good, you know, and so I had to make the hard decision. And I think that's what it goes back to. Sometimes you have to make the hard decision. And all these guys, by the way, had money. They had money. You know, I had to let things slide with them because I knew that I was going to fall for them because these guys were my types. And when I say my types, I mean the hair was there. They had the hair. Okay, mainly they had the hairs, you know, and so I'm just there like, nah, because I know myself. And when I start to fall for you, the more time we spend together, the more this, the more that, I'm not going to be able to come out of it. And I don't want to be in a situation where we're spending time together. I want to spend time with you and then your wife calls you and then I have no option but to let you go to your wife. And then I have to sleep thinking, oh, he's with his wife. You know, I can't manage that. And so I've shared this because I want you to know that in case you're in that situation, move from that. If you need to dump the guy, dump him, or start thinking about it, because at the end of the day, there's nothing you're doing. At the end of the day, work equals zero. You know, I don't fancy older men, to be honest. I'm not that girl. I'm more of a cougar, actually. But I love older men that can think. That's my weakness. You understand what I mean? A man who can think, whether you're married or whether you're whatever. For me, your mind, I'm attracted instantly. And so what I do now, if I know that I'm going to be attracted to this guy and he's married, I won't even want anything to do with your number one, or, you know what I mean? Like, okay, let's just avoid, you know, being together in closed spaces, or, you know what I mean? Because we never know. So sometimes it's better to avoid than actually put yourself in that situation and try to get out. I think that's what I've learned from overcoming addiction. One thing that I've learned about addiction is that it's better to endure than to repent. And what I mean is, it's better you endure not doing something than doing it and then repenting and starting over. You know, this whole thing we have where we just, I'm going to start over, la da da. It's better you don't start over. It's better you repent. It's better you endure it. And I think that's the best way. If you can avoid something, as you see it, run. And I know this is very cliche, but it's the truth. It sounds cliche, but you will come to appreciate what I'm saying when you're pregnant and you don't know what to tell your daughter, or you don't know what to tell your son. You will surely remember that you made the wrong choice. Or maybe you think he's going to leave his wife. But even if he leaves his wife, what does that make you? In all honesty, I think it makes you a fool. You understand? Because if he's able to leave his wife, it means, first of all, he's a wicked man. To come to you, he's a wicked man. And also, you are the fool to think that he's going to love you the way he loved you when you were his girlfriend. Because you have to understand that probably that's just his behavior. You get what I mean? Well, girl, I do hope that you have picked one or two things from this. Honestly, I've shared my experience. This was so close to home. I've never told anybody actually about the two other. Honestly, I've never told anybody, not any of my friends, not Milika, not Faith, not Mlenga. And also not my best friend. I haven't told him as well. But I just remembered now that there was those two guys, and yeah, I've just shared it with you. So I think this is what it is. This is what the podcast is about. It's about me being vulnerable, because if I'm not vulnerable, then how else will someone else know, right? Yes. So it's quite an experience. I didn't fall in love, but I almost fell in love. I think for me, that's my story. I almost fell in love. And now I just don't, because I just can't bring myself to fall in love with a married man, because I'm thinking about the woman. And also I'm thinking, I know that one day I'll be married, and I'm asking myself, would I want to be in her shoes? No. So I would rather not. Okay. I do feel bad, yes, for kissing a married man and making out with a married man. However, falling in love, papata, let's take away sha. Take away sha. You know what I mean? Take away sha. It is not the option for you. So we're gonna hear one last story. I think this is just one lady just talking about, just echoing what I'm saying.
So we're talking about being in love with a married man. Then what next? So personally, I, for one, cannot encourage or support any unethical or immoral actions. But, however, it is very important to understand that being in love with a married man can be a very, and I mean very complicated situation. Not only complicated, but very challenging. You know, it is not really advisable to pursue a relationship with a married man. I know other people do it for different reasons. Everybody has a different reason for being in love with a married man. We all have different reasons. I, for one, cannot judge, because married people out there have actually helped young girls out there. There are few who have helped young girls out there. I know others would say, help me, I help you. But I think I've seen one or two who've generally loved the other party and helped the other party fulfill what they want to do in life. But that doesn't mean you should fall in love with a married man. So it is really not advisable to pursue a relationship with somebody who's already committed to somebody else. Such can lead to emotional pain and definitely cause harm to all parties involved. You know, I actually feel it is best to respect the sanctity of marriage and what it holds. Marriage is something, it's not something to joke about. People these days take marriage very, very lightly, you know. I feel it is, just find somebody of your own, somebody who's single and available, and build a healthy relationship with that person. I know it's really going to be hard to let go of somebody who's been there for you, and actually somebody who's married. The fact that that person is not yours, I feel that's really immoral on my part and unethical.
So yes, that is all four of the ladies that brought in, all five rather, of the ladies that brought in their stories. And I do hope that we've gotten one or two, if not three things from this. So yes, that's just that. Okay, do you respect yourself? You are the other option, but there's a flip side to it. I just want to talk about, lastly, just to conclude, I just want to talk about the three things as to probably, why, and I'm not trying to justify it in any way, but this could be the reason as to why, a married man can probably fall in love. And it is possible. There's this science that men can manage to fall in love with different women. But I'm going to talk about that in a different episode. But in this month, okay, they can fall in love with a woman, in different, you can fall in love with different women at the same time. It's possible. You know what I mean? That's what we're told. So probably why this man is probably, falling in love with another woman is maybe he married too early. And these are problems, and these are the matters. These are issues. He may have married too early, or number two, wasn't given enough chance to choose. Back then, betrothed, like you're betrothed to somebody where they don't give you a chance to choose who you marry. So probably these marriages, that's how they were. embedded, you know what I mean? And another thing, probably you are rushed into the marriage. You know, there's people that rich businessmen normally like to push their sons into marrying because they want a lineage, they want heirs. And so probably this guy was rushed into marriage and he just had no option but to rush into the marriage. And then, you know, no clue, no option but to rush into it. Probably he didn't even love his wife at the time he was marrying her. You know, so I think for me, that's just my thought. Okay, these three things are just my thoughts. That probably that's why, you know, it's possible for the married men to actually just fall in love with you genuinely. Like you feel like I'm genuinely in love with this guy and he genuinely loves me. And you genuinely, from a genuine point of view, you genuinely feel that you guys are in love with each other. But the thing is, he's married, and even him, he doesn't know what to do because he's actually married, you know, to her. And he doesn't know what to do because probably when marrying her, he didn't love her and they were rushed or forced to actually marry each other. So that's the flip side of things. That's just a flip side, right? That's just me thinking, you know, what if it would be, or what if we put it like this? You get what I mean? But anyway, that is the episode for today. I do hope it has been a long one, by the way, because these are matters of the heart. These are sensitive matters. So I really had to put in a lot of conversation into this. Yeah, just to give and also give time, because we had so many stories coming in. We had one story, we had two stories, 3, 4 stories from different, you know, women. And also I just love to give people chance, you know what I mean? Like I love to hear what people have to say. I think that's me. I'm a people person, so I like to hear views, and so I like to put people's views. These are just ordinary people, by the way, ordinary people that I know. Okay, come on board and just say what they want to say. So this has been the episode. Remember to subscribe on YouTube as well. Follow the channel and subscribe to YouTube. And don't forget to like. Don't forget to share the links as well. We want to grow the podcast. We want to have video now. Yes. So we want to have video going forward. But hey, this has been the episode. It is the world of the married. What are your thoughts? Do feel free to text me or comment in the sections. Very important. I love to hear from you as well. Tell me what you think as well. Tell me what you think. Positive criticism is very important. Yes. Okay. So this has been based entirely on people's experiences, my experience as well. So it is not based on a factual norm. So if you know the facts, you know, if you know it, I would appreciate it if you could tell me what you think about this. And if you've fallen in love with a married man, do tell me your experience. As for me, my take is rule number 1, don't fall in love with a married man. Until next time, until next Friday, it's goodbye.